It is incredibly easy to vibrate high when you are watching a YouTube video about the power of vibration. It is easy when you are sitting comfortably, feeling safe, and listening to soothing words. But then the video ends. The next day arrives, and the problems of real life show up at your door. How do you vibrate positively when your relationship has just fallen apart? How do you maintain a positive vibration when a family member passes away and transitions to the other side? How do you keep your frequency high if your money runs out halfway through the month and the debts just keep piling up with no end in sight? This is the recurring doubt for almost everyone on this path. How do I vibrate positively in the middle of absolute chaos? All of these doubts are going to be answered today, and we are going to do this without any romanticized view of reality. If you know my work, you know I don't like that. I have no interest in sugarcoating the truth. We are going to approach this topic with a realistic vision, but of course always a positive one. You did not arrive at this video by accident. You are here at the right moment, at the exact right time to hear this message. It might be that you have already navigated deep into the universe of self-knowledge and the law of attraction. You might know all the theory, but sometimes what is missing is a tiny, specific comprehension, a minimum fragment of truth that you catch right here today, and it finally flips the switch in your mind. I know that feeling well. So listen closely. It doesn't matter what has happened in your reality or your life up to this point. The first thing you need to understand, the foundation of everything we are going to discuss, is that there are two worlds coexisting. They exist simultaneously at the exact same time. There is the external world, and there is your internal world. And these are two completely different things. One thing is for something to happen in the external world. Another thing entirely is the permission you give for that event to alter your internal world. But wait, you might say, someone stole my phone, they hacked my bank account, and they took all my money. How am I supposed to not vibrate low? How can I possibly be okay with that? Look, all of that happened where? In your external world. Allowing that event to destroy your internal world, despite being the most obvious and common reaction, is, the majority of the time, not the most intelligent response. Let's think about this specific situation where they stole your phone and cleaned out your bank account. What can you actually do in the external world to resolve this situation? Well, there are logical steps. You can call the police. You can file a formal report. You can check if the location where you were had security cameras that might help identify the person who committed the crime. You can go to the bank, file fraud claims, and try to navigate the bureaucracy. You have a series of actions that can be taken to try and resolve this issue, this problem that was generated in your external world. But does taking those actions guarantee that your problem will be solved? No, it does not. It is entirely possible that you cannot resolve it immediately. It is possible that the money is gone. It is possible that you will have to deal with the problem rather than just fix it. This is very common. And if you cannot resolve the problem instantly, what can you do? Absolutely nothing. You will have to work. You will have to recover that money over time. You have no other option. But I don't have money to buy food. Then you will need to ask for help. You will need to find a temporary solution. But here is the crucial distinction. Panic does not deposit money into your account. Despair does not bring the thief back. Ruining your internal world does absolutely nothing to fix the external world. In fact, it usually makes you less capable of seeing the solutions that are right in front of you. You are lighting your own house on fire just because someone broke a window. It doesn't make sense. There is a popular saying that is very interesting regarding this issue. It says, "What cannot be cured must be endured." And I invite you to reflect with me on this phrase. What does it really mean? To say that what cannot be cured must be endured means that when something cannot be fixed, repaired, or changed, the only solution is to accept the situation and deal with it in the best way possible. The best attitude is resignation and adaptation. If nothing can be done about the situation, we must adapt and move forward. And if something can be done, we will try to do it until the situation resolves. But, and this is the detail that changes everything, we must do it with lightness. Lightness is the principal virtue that we need to develop in the face of these situations. Literally taking life less seriously. Permitting yourself to laugh at yourself and at the absurdities that happen to us. Because here is the reality. Things are not going to stop happening in the external world. The chaos won't just pause because you are tired. What we need to do is develop a way to make sure that these external events stop affecting our internal world. This state is called neutrality. And what is the best tool to develop neutrality? How do we actually build this buffer between the chaos out there and the peace in here? That is exactly what we are going to look at starting now. I don't know if you are arriving here at the channel for the first time, or if you are one of those people who binge watch all my content. But there is a base concept of my work that you need to master. It is called B.E.C.A. B.E.C.A is nothing more than the 4 pillars that form your personal vibration. What are these pillars? B for beliefs, E for emotions, C for communication, and A for actions. These 4 pillars together mold your vibrational field, and your vibrational field, in turn, will attract or repel, like a magnet, every type of situation and opportunity that you have in life. And this attraction is magnetic. It works exactly like a magnet, as I said. If your field vibrates at a high frequency, you will attract great opportunities and excellent situations. If your frequency is low, vibrating in pain, suffering, and victimhood, you will only attract more of that into your life. That is just pure reality. You can fight with me, complain, kick and scream, look for exceptions and say, yeah, but stop and reflect in a mature way. Take this video, watch it several times, think about it, take notes, and you will come face to face with the truth. This is how life works. And the faster we learn to navigate through life using these rules, the better life gets. Now notice something crucial. All 4 pillars of your vibration, your B.E.C.A, are components of your internal world. This means they can be worked on and improved by you. It does not depend on others. It does not depend on the economy. It does not depend on who is in power. Your beliefs, what you believe firmly without questioning, are your mindset. Your emotions represent your deepest feelings regarding the things of life, regarding yourself. What makes your heart vibrate? Your communication represents the connections you make, whether it is internal, that conversation you have with yourself, or with other people, or with the external world, with the Creator, with existence. And finally, your actions represent the union of the first 3 pillars transformed into practical movement, into behavior, what you actually do in the concrete world. But all of this is forged inside of you. How then, with these 4 tools of your internal world, can you create a barrier so that the chaotic events of the external world stop messing up your vibration? How do you protect your B.E.C.A? It is simple. You use the pillar of communication to modulate the pillar of emotion. What I am going to teach you now is content that I could easily put inside one of my paid courses, but I am transmitting it here freely because I see that this is a critical issue affecting people directly. Your pillar of communication affects 3 areas of your life. First, the internal. You communicate with yourself. You speak things to yourself. You believe things about yourself. There is an internal voice chatting with you all the time. Some people don't even notice it, but it is there. Second, there is external communication, what you say to other people. You communicate with words, but also, and principally, with your attitudes, with your body language. And third, there is communication with life, with events, with the Creator, with existence. It is what you do when you pray, when you meditate, when you contemplate. It is how you speak to the non-physical entities, how you seek spiritual help. So what you need to do, first and foremost, is place a filter between your external communication and your internal world. Faced with any event, it doesn't matter what it is, you are going to say, this is just an event. This is just information coming from the outside world to me. My internal world is strong, and I will not permit this information to invade me and cause an emotional tsunami. You are giving a command to yourself. This phrase is very important because it functions literally as a filter, a barrier between the external happenings and your internal sanctuary. You observe, but you do not absorb. The second thing you need to do is strengthen your internal communication. And here, I ask you a very important question. Does this communication actually exist in you today? Do you communicate with yourself in a deliberate, conscious way? Are you listening to your body? Are you listening to your mind? Do you listen to your intuition? Do you have boundaries well defined inside of you? The majority of people have no internal communication that they can perceive as being under their control. They are like missiles traveling at thousands of miles per hour without any target, without realizing that at any second they could crash. So you need to start developing this internal communication better. You need to listen to yourself more. You need to speak to yourself in a harmonious, positive way. This is perhaps the richest tool of the B.E.C.A framework and the one most ignored by people. The conversation you have with yourself must be efficient for you to reach the E of emotion. You need to learn to dominate your emotions. And when I say dominate, I mean dominate positively. It is about having emotional intelligence. It is about stopping the cycle where you are dominated by your emotions. Do you understand the difference? This is intelligence. Take a look at the tarot card number 11, Strength. This arcanum reveals a woman who is taming a lion. But look closely at how she is doing it. She is not using a whip. She isn't using a cage. She isn't using brute force or weapons. She is using gentleness. She is using grace. She is essentially dancing with the lion. She is taming the beast through connection, not suppression. The lion represents our deepest emotions, our instincts, our animal nature, our fear, our anger, our despair. All of this needs to be tamed over time, because it is very easy to put yourself in the position of the victim and say, oh, but you don't understand what I'm going through. My problems are too big to be overcome. Are you seriously going to let an external event have that much power over you for your entire life? You are much bigger than that. Take yourself less seriously. Take life less seriously. How many years do you have left ahead of you? Life is a breath. Do not waste it fighting. You don't need to fight. The fight doesn't even exist. It is a hologram created to keep you dreaming, inert. Life begins when we stop letting the external world affect us so much. And that is up to you to learn and to do, to exercise until you have mastery over it. Once you do this, you become a lighter person. You have more fun. you become an enchanting person. And here is the truth. Problems will never stop happening. Never. They will always present themselves to you. That is the game. And the more you grow, the bigger the problems become. If you let yourself be dominated by the problems, you freeze. You can't advance anymore. That is classic. But when you start to dissolve the materialist view of life and start to perceive that everything is vibration, it becomes easier to see that every problem has a solution. If the solution isn't in the external world, the solution is in the internal world, because it is very easy to blame the guy who hit your car, the politician, the other. It is difficult to assume responsibility for your own internal world and do the work. When you realize that every issue is a vibrational issue, a clear path opens up. You begin to comprehend that we live in a multidimensional universe. There are thousands of dimensions of reality coexisting with the one we are experiencing right here, right now. How is it possible that on the same planet, people live with such vastly different internal conditions? How can a person who has everything handed to them on a silver platter, the best of the best, be eternally unsatisfied? While at the same time, there are people who have absolutely nothing or very little and are genuinely happy. You see, money and prosperity are just one variable in the equation of life. And honestly, they aren't even the most important one. The most important thing will always be the internal state, the internal environment, because it does no good to have millions in the bank if you are a miserable person, without perspective, depressive, and friendless. The only way to have a full and realized life is by constructing an internal environment of love, lightness, prosperity, and health. And this is a choice. It is a choice you make every single day, every single instant. Now think with me. What if I told you that there exists a state of consciousness where everything you desire to experience in this incarnation already exists, and all you need to do is stop rowing away from it? Today, I am going to do a gender reveal party for your reality. Let's imagine right now that there is a spiral of energy extending out from the center of your chest, a powerful energetic field spiraling outward. Can you imagine it? Now I ask you, what are your biggest desires in every area of life? Start naming them one by one and place them inside this spiral. Put everything you wish to experience there. Is it the car? Put it there. Is it a specific relationship condition? Put it there. Is it living in a specific place? Working at a specific company? Creating a business? Is it having more health? More emotional control? Is it being happier? Understanding your life's purpose? What if I told you that inside this spiral, everything you want already exists? It is already formed. It is already ready to be accessed. Where is this spiral? Right here, just a few inches away from you. So when you are light, free, loose, you naturally expand your vibrational field. You expand your consciousness, your perception. And when you expand, you physically touch your spiral of desires. You gain access to it. What happens when you touch your spiral? Inspirations begin to arrive in your internal world. Opportunities you never imagined appear in the external world. It feels like magic, but it is alignment. Now, let's say you are worried. You are saying, this is too hard. It's all complicated. The country is in a bad phase. The world is in a bad phase. What happens when you ruminate on this? You begin to contract. You diminish your field. You narrow it. This contracted field stops touching the spiral of desires. It falls out of alignment. But here is the danger. This contracted field, full of worry and complaints, it is also creating your reality, because every vibrational field creates. Basically, with the force of thought and the potency of feeling, you are thinking the government is bad, the war is this, my health problem has no solution, I am in debt, I can't find anyone decent. You are generating an anti-spiral. You are manifesting all the junk you don't want for your life, all the things you fear, but you won't get them out of your head or your heart. This contraction, this constant static of worry in your mind, is actually what neuroscientists call the stress signal. And as long as that signal is active, it creates a firewall in your brain that blocks abundance no matter how hard you visualize. However, there is a dormant region in your brain, a wealth signal, that most people never switch on. There is a specific, strange 9-word prayer that acts as a key to shut down that stress signal and activate that dormant region in just 10 seconds. It forces your brain to align with prosperity biologically, not just spiritually. If you want to know exactly what those 9 words are, point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen right now to watch a short video explanation. It reveals what the law of attraction left out. I have also pinned the link in the top comment below. Go check it out. It changes the game. Now back to our spiral. What is the internal key you have to turn to maintain this state manually? Expanding your personal field to touch the spiral of realization. Do you understand now graphically? And how do you do this? By working your B.E.C.A beliefs, emotions, communication, and actions. By working your personal vibration. I hope this video has truly helped you. And I ask you to write in the comments, what was the biggest lesson you took from here today? And don't forget, share this video with the people you love. Big hugs, and until next time.